Hello, everyone. Joining me and Ms. Micaiah into discovering careers. I'm glad you can join us, and I hope this gives you an idea, or at least like a springboard in your career discovery journey. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by let me share my screen. So, yes, hello, discover your career. And how I wanted to start off this workshop was basically asking about interests. So if you can annotate on the screen, I feel like that would work best. Just list out things you're interested in, like it can be anything.
It could be like a hobby, or if you already know a subject that you're interested in, you can do a subject too. If you like to read, like truly anything.
Yeah.
But make sure it's something that you enjoy.
I can give an example. Like, okay, there it is. Oh, writing at Reveille. Yeah, go ahead and annotate the screen. Or in the chat box, I think I saw.
If you're on a school Chromebook, you can use the chat.
Yeah. I see becoming an OBGYN. That's
Nice.
really nice.
That's Dar, right? You want to do that?
Really? That's awesome. I was always interested in
It's Rebecca.
Wait, what?
It's Rebecca.
Dang it, I thought I got it right. Wait, what do you want to do, Dar?
I wanted to be a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, I knew it wasn't a related field.
Yeah. Keep contributing. Analyzing lyrics. Ooh, I actually like that, man.
I always think I have the best music taste.
I feel like this let me change the color. This centrist is common around most of our scholars. Talking, yeah. That's definitely an interest.
Wait, who said talking? Was that Stephanie?
Yes, it was me.
Is it just natural to you? Because I'm not much of a talker myself unless I'm forced to do it.
I don't know. I just like making conversation.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good skill to have.
Soccer, another same. Oh, that's you, Moon. I guess I'll give y'all one more minute to help populate the box. Or the slide, I guess. Look at Reveille for inspiration. Yeah, definitely video games. Dogs, yes. That's me too.
Just trying to think of things that I like. Eating.
Oh, we're just annotating the slides, Yaslin. So if you're able to, you can go ahead and annotate the screen, or if that's not an option for you, you can just put it in the chat. Yeah. Eating, definitely. Ramo said reading, writing, movies.
Movies, that's a good one.
Yeah. Learning new things, definitely.
Twice on accident. Sleeping, that's, yep.
Yes. All right. So these are all pretty good interests. But some of us, as it seems, we have like a lot of interests in common. So the reason why I asked you guys to list out your interests is this is basically the most basic step in career exploration. Basically just trying to figure out what things you already like. Kind of gives you an idea of what you can do career-wise, but I know there's like a lot of options out there. So what I have available to us is an interest profiler. Oh, we get out of annotating. So, oh, have you cleared this? Is anybody? Oh, never mind. I got it. Ah, genius. Anyways, so in this inventory profiler, it's basically an assessment. You'll go through a list of things that it's gonna ask whether you, so as you can see here, there's like 5 options you can choose from: strongly dislike, dislike, unsure, like, or strongly like. And I'm gonna go ahead and demo what the whole process is gonna be like. So I'm gonna start from scratch with all of y'all. And Ms. Makaya put the link in the chat. So I guess before you start your career exploration profiler, I'm gonna demo what I suggest you do. So you're gonna go with press next, and it basically gives you what the little emotions mean. So yeah, for this one, don't think about whether you have like the education for this thing. It's best not to think about like the money aspect. We're not quite to that point yet. We're just basically trying to figure out what are you interested in, and try to think more about yourself. Don't let any other outside influences impact how you choose your answers. Try to be not biased in that way. So for this one, like for example, for this one, yeah, that sounds interesting. Labor Grital, yeah, develop a new medicine. Oh yeah, so you can see here, this one's strongly dislike. This one is just dislike. This one, maybe you see something on here that you're not sure whether you want to do. You have the option to go back to it at the end. This is something you like, and then if you see something that you absolutely know you're super interested in it, you would put this one. Develop new medicine, yeah. Study ways, no, definitely not. Write books or plays, yeah. And I guess also to add, if you don't know how to do something, don't let that like hinder you as well. I don't know how to play a musical instrument. I played one in 6th grade, but that's still something that's still interesting to me. So that's why I put strongly dislike, I mean, strongly like. So yeah, try not to think too much about it. So that's what we're basically gonna do. And I guess I'll give y'all 10 minutes to do your profile, interest profiler. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat or DM me or Ms. Makaya through the Zoom
Also,
chat.
if you want to turn off your screen while you do this and then turn it back on when you come back, that'd be great.
So yeah, y'all can start. 10 minutes starts now. Actually, just let me know in the chat when you're done with the quiz. I mean, not the quiz, the assessment. So how about 5 minutes left? We have 1 more minute left. Okay, is everyone basically done with the first part? You guys give up a little thumbs up. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and go on to the next step. So you should have this on your screen now. So basically it gives you a choice of like 6 themes, but if you notice, you'll have 3 of them highlighted, and what it's basically telling you is these are your main themes and interests that you like, and it'll show you your highest scoring theme. For me, it would be artistic. And then my second highest one would be social, and my third one would be investigative. And well, I guess you might be wondering, what does that even mean? Having all like you have a code here. For me, I would be IAS. What exactly does that mean? So what I'm basically gonna do is explain what these interest themes mean. So I guess we'll start with realistic. So for someone who scored high in realistic, basically that means you like working in the real world. You like being able to touch the things that you're working with. You might be into machines and knowing how they work, might be interested in computers, being outside, working with animals. So basically what I did is I highlighted, I guess the main ideas for these themes. And if you see on top, here's some potential interests, work activities, skills, and values that somebody with this thing might have. Thought it was interesting that for values, it's a tradition, practicality, and common sense. And the next theme that we're going to talk about is, and I added some pictures with Miss Rev. So for the realistic one, I've seen the military fall under this category, and Miss Rev works closely with the Corps cadets. So that would be an example of a realistic career choice. And for social, basically, if you have this under one of your top 3 themes, it means you enjoy working with people. And by working with people, you actually like having like interaction with them. You like to teach them things. You like to, I guess, invest in them personally and watch them grow. as a person. And as you can see here in this little gray box, somebody with the social theme might like teaching, giving advice, and helping and being supportive of people. And as you can look up here, look at the interests, work activities, potential skills, values. And the picture that I have is of Miss Reveille the Ninth. She is doing a social work by helping train Reveille the 10th in becoming the next Reveille the 10th, whenever she retires the spring of 2021. And we're gonna go ahead and go to our next theme. Let me see. So this one, investigative. These people like ideas and thinking. So for this one, definitely makes me think of research, makes me think of people that like the sciences or math. Oh yeah, as you can see here in the interests box, it's basically what I said. Medicine also falls in this category as well. Yeah, so for this one, I would say you like exploring, I guess, information, and you also like performing the experiments, which can get you the information. And in this picture, we just have Reveille reading a book because she's investigative and likes to gather facts about something. Enterprising. People who have enterprising in their theme, they like, I guess, being involved in the business side of things. For me, that's definitely not one of my strong themes. So it makes sense that for me, my theme for enterprising was like really low. And as you can see here, some of the things they might like: persuading and leading people, making decisions, taking risks for profits. Potential skills, verbal ability, that would mean, I guess, being able to talk to people or being able to convince them to maybe invest in your business or sell them something. I noticed that the skills involved in enterprising, mainly like they have an aspect where you're basically trying to persuade people. And that kind of makes sense for what the theme is about. And in this picture, I didn't have a business picture of Reveille, but I think if she were to operate a business, it would be around, I guess, outwitting the campus squirrels, since she's not a big fan of them. So that's what the enterprising theme is about. And artistic, for this one, it basically just deals with people who have a creative side and that they really like to express, and that can include art, drawing, music, writing. And I think the biggest aspect of the artistic theme is just creativity, originality, and I guess just being able to like express your artistic abilities. And what's interesting, what I just noticed, is an artistic person likes doing work without following a set of rules. So maybe that's something to consider whenever you're doing career exploration. And here I have a picture of Ms. Reveille. If you don't know the reference, this is a reference to Taylor Swift's album Folklore. And Ms. Reveille is a big Swiftie stan. So in expressing her creative abilities, she has done a Taylor Swift Folklore inspired album cover of her own. And I think this is our last one. Conventional. These kinds of people, they really like having a routine in their work. They're very particular about details, kind of like the opposite of artistic. They would rather have rules to follow and structure, whereas the artistic theme feels comfortable working without any rules. They could potentially be adapted to that. So a lot of this, I guess, deals with being able to organize information, working with numbers, keeping records. For me, that sounds kind of boring, but for some people, this is like super interesting to them. And before we go move ahead, so whenever you click next on the interest profiler, you might see this option about job zones. Let me show you what it's about. Basically, I just took off the information from here. All of it is in here, actually. I just thought it would be better to show it to you on screen rather than clicking back and forth. I don't know why it's like that. I found it annoying, so I presented it to you in a slide format. So when you click next, it'll tell you about, I guess, it'll ask you about what kind of preparation you would need for a job. It has you think about what you're at currently. So for like most of y'all, I guess, y'all don't have like a high school diploma yet, but I would suggest going with the job preparation you expect to have. So actually, let me show you what I mean. It can be a little confusing. So if you're thinking of getting like a bachelor's, I would probably select the number 4 for job zones. It'll give you a list of careers that fit into your personality. Oh, it's not letting me get stuff. So yeah, for me, probably going to get a master's. I'll bring this screen back again, but for job zone 5, graduate school education, click that. No, sorry, did that wrong. It's next, job zone 5, next, and basically it'll give you a list of careers that fall under basically your 3 main themes, and it'll give you the best fit for what you got, and then it'll give you the great fit. Personally, I feel like this is kind of accurate for what I would like, but you can always press find more careers, and you can click on one of the themes. I would probably look at the themes you scored highest in, and it'll give you like a list of more careers that fall under that theme, and you can always look at the level of education and training that you would need. But really, that's only like one part of the equation. I wouldn't stress too much about this part yet. We basically have figured out what your interests are, where they lie, and there's still some other steps that you could do. Definitely take the time to do some self-reflection. Here's some questions that I think you should think about whenever you're thinking about maybe picking a career. Think about what you like right now. Maybe you like biology, or you really like your art class, you like languages. Think about which classes you hated. That can also help in figuring out what careers you wouldn't want to look at. If you don't like math, it would be best not to get involved in a career that's pretty math-based or math-heavy. think about what you'd like to do in your free time. And I think the last part is pretty important. Think about like your personality. And I guess the one thing I would say about that, I guess, is like think about whether you're like introverted or extroverted. That can also be a good guiding point in figuring out what kind of careers you would like. Um, actually, sorry. I really think experience is also one of the best things you can do in figuring out your careers. So fortunately for all of y'all who are Eagle Scholars, and they have like a lot of events and workshops going on all the time. And maybe you can use the results that you got from the interest profiler to explore things that are like related to what you got. And actually, I wanted to show y'all the website, Miss Micaiah and Alejandra, right? Y'all, yeah. So we actually have an Eagle Scholars website now. And I feel like if you feel kind of overwhelmed with Facebook, this is also a good resource to look at. Would click the calendar, and you basically have all the things that are going on for this coming semester. So I guess, for example, if one of your interest themes is like investigative, I would look into maybe signing up for Stars Explorers, just to get more exposure about like what things are out there. Or maybe you have artistic as in one of your themes. Maybe you could look at landscape architecture. But I also feel like you shouldn't limit yourself to what you have here. It's always good to like try new things, and I guess to give an example of that, I kind of wanted to talk about my whole career exploration journey. So yeah, I'm basically gonna give y'all a rundown of how mine went. So for me, when I got out of high school, I figured that I was gonna be a doctor or a veterinarian, mainly because I was really good at science. I really had really good grades all throughout high school, and those were like the only careers I really knew about at the time. Just considering like my peer group and like my teachers and all that. So I started out with biomedical sciences. I did my research on it, on my major, because that's what I thought I was wanting to do. And then whenever I actually took those classes during my first semester, I figured out that I didn't want to be a vet or a doctor anymore. So around the second semester of my freshman year, I got out of biomedical sciences, and I still didn't know what I was going to like study afterwards. I didn't plan for that. So I basically got put in general studies, which gave me some time to explore different classes that I could take, give me some time to figure out, okay, what other major could I look at that I could possibly like enjoy, since I was kind of switching careers. So at least in like college, you have opportunities to like go to events. They basically, it's kind of like Eagle Scholars. They have events and workshops available year round. I feel like, yeah, you can also join clubs and see what kind of interests you have, and sometimes that inspires your career choices. But I guess for me, I just kind of want to make a point that you only know what you know. So whenever it's like related to careers, I only knew stuff about like the medical field because that was the thing that I was exposed to the most in high school. So I guess the second option that I was wanting to do was, well, I guess I'll become a nurse. It's similar enough to doctor, and I think it fits with what I would like to do in the future. But I ended up doing psychology for my major around the second semester, my sophomore year. I could fit in all my nursing prereqs, but the thing about that was I was pretty miserable in my nursing prereqs. I mean, I knew I liked science, but the classes that I took for nursing, they were pretty dreadful. So it was kind of a struggle to push through in college, mainly because I kind of limited myself with this one career choice and it wasn't working. And I didn't have any other, I guess, career backups. And I think what really helped me around to figure out what I really wanted to do was around my senior year. I took an on-campus job as an academic peer mentor, and I basically figured out something different about myself that I didn't think I was capable of, and that would be like mentoring students. Basically, this job exposed me to a lot of things that I could do. Like I could, I guess, communicate with people. I figured out that I was kind of a people person because the only experience I had with people was at a restaurant. And for a while, I thought I really hated people, but in reality, it turns out I actually do like working with people. So, and then I have like this little box with all the activities I did, kind of relating back to the themes I had. I really enjoyed my labs. Um, I joined the rugby team, and I have the Aggie Crocs because that's just like a fun thing that I wanted to explore with my interests. I guess you could say that's fashion. National Residence Hall honorary. So whenever I graduated, I knew I didn't want to be a nurse anymore, but I still didn't know what I wanted to do. But then I looked back to my experience in college with being an academic peer mentor, and I figured that I wanted to do student affairs for my master's. So I guess I just want to stress that you don't have to have everything figured out. Sorry. For me, I guess I was just limited in what careers were out there. I took the similar career assessments as y'all did, but I took it around my freshman year of college, and I feel if I had these resources in high school, I would have had a better idea of what I could potentially do, because I guess I was just limited to this one field that I was really interested in, but then like I found out, okay, maybe the jobs aren't really for me, but there's like other stuff that's still available to you because people have multiple interests.
Can I
Yeah,
add like two things?
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so first of all, when you get to school, there's a pretty high chance that some of you are at least going to change your major once. Most, if not all, the people that I know have changed their major before, some of them several times. It's not a bad thing. It's really good because you're figuring out what you like and what you like to learn. And then the second thing, well, okay, three things. The second thing is that there are a lot of jobs within each major that you probably don't know about and that you won't even know about in throughout college. So what I mean is like I'm a sociology major. I went in thinking that I could do social work, I could be in HR, and those were pretty much my only two options. And that's just not true. You can do a lot of things with a sociology degree, and that's probably true of whatever major you want to major in as well. So look into that, figure out who your career advisor is or your academic advisor is, and go talk to them about it. Or professors, they're also great resources. And then the last thing is a lot of people don't figure out what their vocation is, like what their career is, until long after they graduate college. Like you might not find what you love to do until you're like 35. And that's fine. Like I know a woman who worked at Foley's. It was like a department store for 5 years, and now she's like an incredible speaker and she teaches things. And anyways, so try not to get too freaked out about it, or worked up about choosing a major. Go for something that you genuinely enjoy. Try not to think too much about how much money you'll earn, because in the long run, that's not going to be like fulfilling to you. So those are my additions.
Thank you, Micaiah. Those are really great additions. Yeah, like she mentioned, it's likely that you might change majors just because you're like outside of like your hometown, you're outside of your family's influence. So you basically have more time, I guess, to be yourself when you get to college. So there might be things that challenge the old beliefs that you had in high school. And that's always a good thing because you get to learn more about who you really are because you're getting out of an environment that basically kind of fed you what ideas you can be. But then whenever you go to college, you get to basically figure out who you really are. And I just wanted to keep the workshop limited to the interests only. In our next one, we're going to do more major and career-based exploration. Yeah, I just wanted this to be like the springboard for you guys to get thinking about careers. So I'm going to have Discover Your Career Part 2. I would save the letters that you got in your interest profiler, write them down somewhere, I guess, somewhere safe. And let me clear the annotations. Okay. So yeah, if you need, I guess, any contact information from me, here's my email. I guess I can go ahead and put it in the chat. Oh yeah, if you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer. Or you can always talk to your intern about this if you would like to explore more career exploration. Always good to have an outside perspective as well. So here's my email. And thank you so much for joining me and Ms. Micaiah in discovering your career.
Thanks, guys.
If you